Hey out there, this is Friday, September 7th, 2018, and it's about 5 minutes past 11 o'clock in the morning here in Northern California. Getting a late start today. I'm going to talk about a lot of different stuff as usual. I kind of wanted the theme and focus to be on pointing out this division in our land and how it's been manufactured, invented, created, conjured up. Call it what you will. It's by deliberation. It's not just happenstance. I mean, especially in light of the fact that 90+% of the American people were against the bankster bailout of '08, and this all all the problems socially, politically, and economically speaking in our nation are concocted by evil people. They're very diabolical people, and whatever it takes to keep the focus off them, they're willing to do. And throwing globs of mud in the water as a metaphor for the kind of stuff they do is appropriate. Um, and I think this conversation is very pertinent in light of what's going on in America today with the internet censorship. Um, it's tough. We are in a big, fat, created, invented storm. S-storm, you might say. Feces storm. And it's not a lot of fun. I'm having a hard time contending with it. And the best advice I can give everybody as individuals to keep coping is, look, I don't care what you are, who you are, gender, race, age, color, religion, lack of religion, Democrat, Republican, socialist, capitalist, conservative, liberal. I'm still going to give you the same advice as I would give a family member, my children, best friend, anybody. I'm kind of a level playing field kind of guy. I'm kind of on everybody's side, even my enemy, because this is something, of course, we're instructed to do in the Bible. Jesus said it himself, this love your enemy thing. And I'm just like everybody else, and there's times when you want to grab your enemy by the throat and choke them out. I get that. I get why people want to kill somebody. I see the same stuff on TV as everybody else, and I want the guy to get capital punishment. There's one side of me that wants to, kill him myself for what he did, whatever. Some heinous act toward humanity, typically. When it involves children, it's over the top. And, I'm probably the first guy, that, although I'll call myself a pacifist, that I want to pull a Moses on him. And what I mean by pull a Moses, I mean, he killed without any malice aforethought, any premeditation, a mean slave driver that was beating his slave. He was incensed and outraged and had a case of temporary insanity, and that's the kind of guy I am. So I understand, where everybody's coming from when they believe in capital punishment, the death penalty, and vengeance and retribution, and we'll say, well, we're doing it because it's a deterrent, which hasn't really been proven out anyhow. It's just an excuse. But nevertheless, I think there should be some guidelines with that. We should, anybody that says they believe in capital punishment should be willing to flip the switch themselves. Okay, and that's fine. A lot of people say, I'm happy to do it, I want top of the list. It doesn't work that way, though. I mean, if you're just in the background and passively, I believe in death penalty, capital punishment, but you want somebody else to do your dirty work, to me, in my mind, that's not acceptable. So what I try to encourage everybody to do is get real. Okay, and the things I do to cope is I pray, I commune, and I have a relationship with God, and it's not perfect. I'm weak, I'm feeble, and I fall a lot, and I feel like, I let down God and I let down humanity by not being strong enough and not being willing to really step out and, take some, run for some high political office or, write some best-selling book or do this or that or the next thing. But, I find the idea of being famous, for one thing, a bit repugnant. I really do. I have an aversion. But I can't let it stop me from being great in the sight of God and man, okay, because the two go hand in hand. And I don't care about being great. I don't care about being called the Son of God because I'm a peacemaker. As Jesus said in the Beatitudes of your Bible, said, this is one of the things, the peacemakers shall be called the sons of God. And that doesn't really motivate me. I feel like I am a son of God anyhow. We're all children of God, but it's those that are pure in heart. Keep your heart pure, I would recommend. It's really easy in this day and age for our hearts to get hard and for us to get unloving. It's really easy. And this is by design. This is the ploy. You understand? Whenever our attention is focused on just Joe Blow out there that has a different set of beliefs than us and is saying different things, we don't give them any credit for believing what they say. It's like a socialist. A lot of people just want to condemn them and point out what evil idiots they are because it's totalitarian, it's authoritarian, and of course I'm against totalitarianism and authoritarianism, and I don't like that. That's what I don't like about the Chinese style government. It's completely 180 degrees different from the ideal of American principles. You understand? So I just want to really, really make it very clear that we have been divided on purpose. And the most effective thing we can do to fight these diabolical a-hole idiots that are pulling our strings, remember, the grand puppeteers controlling the mainstream media, this Bilderberger group, okay, these are the bankster money printing class and the highest level, the halls of power, the political class, right? What we call the government, which is a lot of these people are just snakes and vipers. They get in there because they're power hungry and then they get power drunk. They realize what influence they have and they can get untold sums of money. They get vastly wealthy in these high political offices. It's sick, man. Our country is overwrought with satanic forces. Okay, that's it, man. Winning or not, I don't care, man. But it doesn't matter really. At the end of the day, okay, you're all going to the same place. You're not going to be fit and found worthy to inherit, okay, this earth. You're going down, and you're getting desperate. It's starting to show a lot, okay. Now, I saw Alex Jones in Washington, D.C. at this consortium on, this congressional hearing or whatever, committee of, whatever, that's been set up by Congress to listen to this, this debate about internet censorship on these, the most notable social mainstream media, social media groups like YouTube and Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, right? Okay, all the big names out there in the social media world. And Alex Jones, of course, has been censored recently. And, I've been warning him about some of his rhetoric. He needs to dial it down, and he hasn't taken my advice. But look, I shouldn't feel offended. He hasn't even taken his own dad's advice. I don't think Alex Jones is capable of taking anybody's advice. I think if Trump told him to cool his jets, I don't think Alex Jones could. I think he's hopelessly stubborn. And I'm as stubborn as they get, believe me. I'm stubborn practically to the point of death. Okay, I'm really kind of lame in some ways in that regard. To my own detriment is what I'm talking about. And, but Alex Jones, I mean, he just really, at some point, he's just got to say, look, is life, worth living if I've got to have all this consternation? I don't care where it's coming from. And he thinks that these people that tell him that, don't listen to your critics, there are his friends. No, those are yes men. Those are sycophants for whatever ulterior motives they have. No, a friend and a family member, these are where you're going to hear your best constructive criticism from. And if he doesn't trust a guy like me, because I suspect Alex Jones has listened to me in the past, I get a sense of that, okay? And that's really the kind of thing I want to be, like I've said, I don't care about a name. I really rather just be, I had a nightmare that my name came up on a show, okay? And, it was really kind of a bit disconcerting, to be honest with you. I've got nothing to sell. I'm not selling anything, you understand? So there's no need for me to be in, some high-level platform, let's say, a social media platform. I don't need that kind of recognition. But I do want to try to influence the influencers. That's my task, I believe. And you could say, well, that's a cop-out. You should be at your local city council meetings or run for office or something. I say, you know what? Hey, that's fantastic if that's for you. It's not in my Constitution. I don't see any need to hang out with. I don't like the political nonsense locally, okay? Because people like here, take locally in Chico, we got this big issue before the city council, and it's a sit lie ordinance, and people have probably heard about it. It was probably the Berkeley case, probably made national news. I don't know what's played nationally because I'm just stuck here in Northern California, so I don't see what they're playing nationally. But people probably have heard, I'm guessing, of the sit lie ordinance, and it's a way to rouse the homeless because they got nowhere to sleep, and if they're caught sleeping in public parks or on the doorway of businesses, it gives the police an in to go and rouse them out of their sleep and move along here. You know what? No, and if they've been, I don't know. I don't even. They're busting anybody for defecating. What are they going to do? Make them clean it up? How are they going to clean it up? You got to provide the implements for them to clean up their own poop they leave on the sidewalk. We're not providing 24-hour toilets and bitching and moaning about. And who wouldn't? They're crapping in people's yards, for God's sake. You think I want to get in the middle of this fray? As big of a homeless advocate as I am, because they're the downtrodden. They're Jesus Christ, who said he is the least of men. Remember that about these people. Okay, these are desperately poor people. That's the very definition of desperately poor, when you're homeless, okay? So, yeah, I mean, the idea of, waking up, I can understand why somebody would hate the homeless. They wake up to a pile of dung on their front lawn and it isn't a dog, okay? They know what happened here, okay? So, yeah, I'm on everybody's side here. Do you understand? But I know where the problem originates, okay? I know where its incubation point was. I know where the genesis of the problem was. I know it's with the Federal Reserve Bank and those same said politicians I talked about, these power-hungry and now power-drunken freaks that are creating the policies we have to live under. And they're just hand in glove, hand in hand with the money printing class, okay? And it's sickening, man. I mean, look, God's helping us, but you know what? I mean, it's going to take something to get this ship to turn. And Trump is, he's at the helm of the ship. And he's really trying to get this thing going on the right trajectory, the right course, but he's being fought tooth and nail by this status quo establishmentarian, this sickening, putrid, repugnant, insufferable lot, unnerving lot, this gaggle of murderous, lying thugs and freaks and just, I mean, I cannot use enough pejorative adjectives to describe these monsters, okay? And I'm not going to get all hung up. I mean, listen, in the Bible talks about this thing that's called the spirit of the air. That bastard's out there. Okay, it's there in your house, it's in my house, it's in all of our houses. And if I had gone down to the city council the other night when the mayor decided to shut down the meeting, okay, because the public was getting too ruckus, the sides were too divided on this issue, those defending the homeless's right to sleep out in the cold, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be down there, okay? I'm not going down there to get beat up by demons, okay? Because that's all that's going on here. We're not as far apart as we've been told we are. That's the point I'm trying to make here. If you're a conservative that claims they hate big government, they hate tax and spend policies, they want reduced tax burden, okay? I get that, man. I'm down. I'm with you, conservatives, but you better not be pseudo-conservatives and just saying that, because really you're a closet pseudo-liberal who likes taxes because you benefit, but you don't want anybody to figure that out because the way you benefit is a roundabout way. It's kind of through a proxy maybe, or it's kind of quasi maybe, or just some little variation thereof with a bureaucratic tie like the Chamber of Communists and, whatever. Okay, no. If you're a real conservative that really wants dramatically lower taxes, I'm your man, okay? Let me tell you. And if you're hardcore egalitarian, good socialist, good liberal, real liberal, honest liberal, I'm down, man. I get it. I'm with you too. Generosity, man. Liberal. That means generous, right? Right? That's what that's all about. So I'm down because I believe God is generous, okay? And we should also be generous. The planet belongs to all of us. I mean, if we just figured that out, okay, then you got to, who Are you against me setting me free? Would you be against me owning my own government approved money printing press? If you are, then you're evil, you're elitist, and you're going to hell. You're on the highway to hell. I don't care what you are. I don't care if I'm talking to a socialist or I'm talking to a capitalist. I don't care if I'm talking to a Republican, a Democrat, or liberal, or conservative. I don't care. It does not matter, an iota at the end of the day. But if you're opposed to my being set free, I'm talking about absolute freedom, unequivocal freedom, unconditional freedom. That means financial freedom. Do you understand what I'm saying here? If you're opposed to me having that, then you're evil and you're on the highway to hell.